serving their great people for that time. Mr. Speaker, I wish to comment briefly on the governor's speech. That was on the 28th of, that was on the last week, on the 28th of September. Mr. Speaker, on the governor's speech, I wish to touch on a few aspects, that is on healthcare. Healthcare, Mr. Speaker, is a basic requirement for every citizen in the Republic of Kenya. Mr. Speaker, you find the current status of our health system, Mr. Speaker, is in a very sorry state. I would wish particularly to touch on the issue of drugs as one of the aspects that is dragging healthcare down. Mr. Speaker, on the matter of drugs, and I speak as a practitioner in the pharmacy sector for the last 15 years. Mr. Speaker, I've had an opportunity back in 2009 to serve under USAID program PEFA at Kericho County Referral Hospital. Drugs has been an issue for long. The issue to address the drugs shortages and maybe mishandling of the drugs, Mr. Speaker, falls in three categories. Category number one, Mr. Speaker, is the way we are ordering this substance of concern. A drug, Mr. Speaker, is a substance that falls under the category of therapeutic substance. We need, Mr. Speaker, going forward to review the process of ordering. Drugs, Mr. Speaker, has to be ordered from a pharmacy section. That is, we give an autonomy to the pharmacist in charge of every capacity in the healthcare system, so that drug should not be ordered in a pathway together with other hospital equipments or hospital substances. We need to give an autonomy, Mr. Speaker, to each sub-county hospital so that they make their own order following the law of pool, Mr. Speaker. They need to pool the substances they need. Mr. Speaker, on the matter of hospital autonomy, I concur with Honorable Hon.Cheruiyot, member of the County Assembly, Kapsoit Ward, that every department or the county hospital should be autonomous, so that each section, that is the clinical section, has its autonomy. The pharmacy section has its autonomy. The radiological sector, Mr. Speaker, should have its autonomy. The diagnostic path, the lab and the rest, Mr. Speaker, should have an autonomy, so that at the end of the day, if, for example, drugs are missing, we will hold accountable the pharmacist in charge. If there is a problem, Mr. Speaker, at our labs, Mr. Speaker, we hold the lab in charge accountable. On a matter of concern, that is the oncology center. Cancer is the #1 killer in Kenya. Mr. Speaker, we have to have a program, a way out, progressively, Mr. Speaker, so that our great citizen gets the basic requirements of chemotherapy. Mr. Speaker, we need the structural parts. Mr. Speaker, we need our personnel, capacity building on our personnel. Mr. Speaker, we also need a pathway where these clients who are diagnosed with this disease, Mr. Speaker, have a unified cover provided by the county. Mr. Speaker, cancer alone is not a killer. We have other chronic forms of diseases, Mr. Speaker, that is the diabetes, that is the hypertension, Mr. Speaker, that also are chronically ailing our patients and draining our economy. Mr. Speaker, on my second approach, Mr. Speaker, that is on agriculture. His Excellency the Governor touched on the coffee mills, and I'm happy at some point he was present at a coffee mill somewhere in Kipkelion West. He touched on the maize mills and the milk mills, Mr. Speaker. For purposes of record, Mr. Speaker, I stand here on behalf of people of Tendeno Soget. Tendeno Soget, Mr. Speaker, is an area and a niche of unique characteristics, Mr. Speaker. When I saw the output and the input from the governor regarding the coffee, Tendeno Soget, Mr. Speaker, is a cold area, a very high altitude, Mr. Speaker, that cannot grow coffee. Tendeno, Mr. Speaker, is an altitude that cannot grow maize, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, Tendeno again is so cold to a tune of not supporting proper dairy, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I think people of Tendeno were missed out in this part of agriculture. Mr. Speaker, I would wish, Mr. Speaker, that if going forward we incorporate the issue of pyrethrum, Mr. Speaker, we incorporate the issue of potato plants, Mr. Speaker, and the process of value addition, so that our people, Mr. Speaker, can have also a representation, can have also, Mr. Speaker, a way that their needs can be captured and addressed to, Mr. Speaker. On the issue of bursary, Mr. Speaker, our people, we came here courtesy of bursaries that were not dispersed timely, Mr. Speaker. We used this as a campaign tool, and it was indeed a powerful campaign tool, Mr. Speaker, that I'm here today. Mr. Speaker, it is my prayer that bursary fund be increased. Bursary fund, Mr. Speaker, we do a proper audit so that in every other aspect and in every other time, Mr. Speaker, we know the number of children, Mr. Speaker, who are in high school, the number of children, Mr. Speaker, who are in colleges, the number of students, Mr. Speaker, who are in the university. Mr. Speaker, on the source, that is the Kabianga Tea Farm and Kipkelion Coffee Mills, proper legislation, proper pathway, we need to expand our scope, Mr. Speaker, so that we have more funding being invested in this education sector, Mr. Speaker. But going forward, if, Mr. Speaker, at one point we will have a functional agriculture, Mr. Speaker, this issue of bursary, Mr. Speaker, will have been addressed, because each individual at the very remotest part of this county, Mr. Speaker, will have done his part in addressing his challenges agriculture-wise. We have a market for the produce. These children will go to school easily, Mr. Speaker. On the issue of scholarships, Mr. Speaker, I wish to congratulate the governor for touching on the issue of having 100 Kenyans, young Kenyans, the youths, Mr. Speaker, being taken to TVET's institution. TVET, Mr. Speaker, is an area where our youths get the training, exploit their potential, Mr. Speaker, and furthermore, get self-employment. Mr. Speaker, we need also to engage the national government, Mr. Speaker, in a pathway of having a higher education loans board. Many a times, Mr. Speaker, our children remains at their remote areas, Mr. Speaker, without proceeding with their level of education despite the Form 4 level, Class 8 level, and the rest, Mr. Speaker. We want these students access education and training in the nearest TVET centers. We have help, Mr. Speaker. Having help, the requirement currently, myself, I have been to Kimasian Technical Institute. I have been to Bureti Technical Institute. An affirmative action, Mr. Speaker, needs to be undertaken to our youths. When a student, for example, wants to enroll in this TVET institution, Kimashan in particular, they are only required to have 1,500 shillings, Mr. Speaker. The issue of school fees is addressed via help. The government have allocated up to 26,000, Mr. Speaker, to each student who joins and who wish to join TVET institution. So, having this pathway of 300 scholarship will expand our scope, Mr. Speaker. We'll also have those who are in very vulnerable states, Mr. Speaker, have their needs addressed. On the issue of internships, Mr. Speaker, after training, Mr. Speaker, for example, a driver who cannot access, Mr. Speaker, a vehicle is not a driver. Driver, Mr. Speaker, is the one who is in contact with several hours with a machinery, Mr. Speaker. I really support the issue of our institution within the county and also extra county providing our students and our people.
Yes, Honorable Naman, what is it?
Honorable Speaker, sir, I'm rising on point of order on standing order number 231. That is on protection of the dignity of the Assembly in matters broadcasting the proceedings of this House. And it says that the officers of the Assembly Broadcasting Unit shall conduct themselves in a professional and impartial manner, giving a balanced, fair, and accurate account of the proceedings, Mr. Speaker. Looking at what has been broadcasted on our Facebook page, it is saying that we are currently enacting an appropriation bill, which is not accurate, Mr. Speaker, sir. Thank you.
Yes, Honorable Member Dr. Naman, while I agree with what you have, of course, as point of information to us, I think again, I must speak to the fact that we are multitasking as a House, and I must congratulate you, because even as the Speaker was not aware what is being broadcasted in our social media platforms. However, our PR, Sergeant at Arms, to find out and communicate accordingly. Let's proceed, Honorable Moses.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and also thanks to Dr. Naman for.
Yes, Honorable Hon.Cheruiyot.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, sir. I know there are parliamentary procedures guiding this House, Mr. Speaker, sir. The two honorable members who have risen to speak, Mr. Speaker, sir, did not bow before speaking, Mr. Speaker, sir. The honorable member of County Assembly for Tendeno Soget and the honorable PhD from Soin, Mr. Speaker, sir.
Thank you. Thank you very much, the Honorable Hon.Cheruiyot. Again, we must speak to the fact that we need to at least congratulate you for, of course, being very vigilant on such matters. And Sergeant at Arms, and I want to speak to the honorable members that this is a house of procedures and rules, and we expect all honorable members to conduct themselves as required by, of course, the standing orders, as well as also the guide to conduct within the prisons, whether in the chamber or in the county assembly. So be advised accordingly. Thank you so much. The Honorable Moses, please proceed.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and my apologies on the same. I wish to proceed, Mr. Speaker, on the issue of education. Education, Mr. Speaker, especially on ECD, it remains of great concern. I concur with His Excellency the Governor, Mr. Speaker, on the issue of confirming our teachers. Mr. Speaker, our teachers, that is the ECD staffs, Mr. Speaker, work in very deplorable conditions, Mr. Speaker. On matters of pay, Mr. Speaker, I think having looked at their pay slip, Mr. Speaker, we are paying them lowly, Mr. Speaker, because many of them are earning around 9,000 to 13,000, Mr. Speaker, and we have indeed entrusted them, Mr. Speaker, with the sole responsibility of nurturing our children, Mr. Speaker. It is our prayer that as we proceed, Mr. Speaker, we confirm them, we remunerate them well, Mr. Speaker, for purposes of posterity and improve their working conditions, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, on the issue of infrastructure, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I would wish that going forward, a committee on education from this House, Honorable House, Mr. Speaker, visits all the ECD centers, Mr. Speaker, because where I come from, that is Tanzania, Mr. Speaker, our children are occupying condemned centers, Mr. Speaker, because the walls have cracked, the floor, Mr. Speaker, there is no provision of water, Mr. Speaker. The toilets and the latrines, Mr. Speaker, are inclined at 45 degrees, Mr. Speaker, because the laid foundation, Mr. Speaker, is not meeting the threshold. Mr. Speaker, on the part of mechanization, the issue of machines on areas of span, Mr. Speaker, I wish that the bill that was requested by His Excellency the Governor be brought to this House as soon as possible, Mr. Speaker, so that we scale down the use of machinery and bring our youth, Mr. Speaker, to a tune of employment, Mr. Speaker. On the issue of county revolving fund, Mr. Speaker, I support so that our people who may not be in formal employment, Mr. Speaker, be in a position to take loans, that is the low interest rate loans, Mr. Speaker, and dispense and work for the betterment of the economy, Mr. Speaker. The last part of it, Mr. Speaker, I wish to submit the issue of unity, Mr. Speaker, that was put into emphasis by His Excellency the Governor, Mr. Speaker. Soon, maybe today in the afternoon, Mr. Speaker, we will be electing our Deputy Speaker. Sooner, Mr. Speaker, we will be having chairs, Mr. Speaker, for sectorial committees. And properly, Mr. Speaker, they will also have their vice chairs, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I would wish to say the following, Mr. Speaker. As you have the deputy, Mr. Speaker, that is the deputy speaker occupying that constitutional position, Mr. Speaker.
Yes, order, honorable member. What is it, the Honorable Eric B., member for Kabler, point of information.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I think as per the standing orders, the honorable member should strictly converge the speech of the governor. So let the member be informed of the same. Thank you.
Thank you so much, the honorable member. But the honorable for Tendano was still, I want to believe he was still giving his comments and observation on the motion as proposed by the Hon.Cheruiyot Bett on the speech of the governor. So we could have given him some few minutes to see whether he was out of order or really yes. So proceed first, the honorable member for and as not strictly adhere and to the subject of the discussion.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Regarding the unity, Mr. Speaker, I was still within the presence of Honorable Governor's speech, Mr. Speaker, on the importance of unity of purpose for posterity and for progress of this Honorable House, Mr. Speaker. Unity remains a recipe and an ingredient, Mr. Speaker, so that once you have your deputy, Mr. Speaker, we pray, Mr. Speaker, that he have the essence and the necessary guidance, the necessary support, Mr. Speaker, so that he will also have an opportunity, Mr. Speaker, to preside over sessions, Mr. Speaker. On the last bit, that is on the part of the revenue, Mr. Speaker, I would wish, Mr. Speaker, that the revenue collection points on all parts, Mr. Speaker, from where I come, Pandano Soget, we border several units, Mr. Speaker. We trade with many, with Wasingishu, Mr. Speaker. We trade with Baringo County, Mr. Speaker. And we also trade with Nakuru County, Mr. Speaker. Revenue collection points, Mr. Speaker, be implemented, be supported, and be automated, Mr. Speaker. I wish to submit by saying thank you, Mr. Speaker, and thank you, honorable members.
Thank you very much, the Honorable, for Tendano Soget. Before I give to the next honorable member, I want to draw attention to, during our last sitting, the Honorable Fancy Korir drew an attention to us that the speech or the first address by Excellency the Governor at the first sitting erroneously read 26th September 2022. I now direct that this be noted that it was an error, and of course the clerks to note that the speech or the address by Excellency the Governor was tabled on Wednesday, 28 September 2022, and not 26th, as noted by the Honorable Fancy Korir. Secondly, is on the point of order by Honorable Dr. Namandrop. The issue has been now addressed, and proper relayment of information has been adhered to as per our standing orders. Next, Honorable Member. The Honorable Edna Atanu.
Bwana Spika, nataka nichukue nafasi yangu ili niweze kupitia hotuba ambayo tulipewa na gavana wetu, na kabla ya hiyo nataka niseme asante kwangu mimi nikiwa hapa bunge hili la Kericho, na ya pili nataka niseme asante tena kwa familia yangu ya Bwana Tanui na watoto wetu wanne ambayo walichukua nafasi yao kunisaidia kwa njia moja ama nyingine ili niweze kusimama hapa leo. Kwangu nilikuwa nikiomba kura, na wakati niliomba nilipata usaidizi mwingi sana kutoka familia, kuanzia nyumbani kwangu na hata familia kwa ukubwa. Ya pili, sitasahau kusema asanti kwa wapiga kura wa wadi yangu Waldai, ambaye nikisimama hapa ninachifunia sana kwa sababu kura zao walichangia mimi niwe hapa. Ninasema asante sana kwa maana walinisaidia wakanipigia kura nyingi zaidi. Sitaki nisahau hiyo sana. Na ya tatu, ninasema asante pia kwa wachama wetu wa UDA kutoka kule Nairobi mpaka county. Hawa ndio walitusimamia na walitetea ukweli, ndiposa tuko hapa. Sitasahau mbunge wetu Songo. Yeye ndiye alitusaidia, akatusaidia, akapeana majina yangu mimi ili nikuwe hapa. Kwanza
yes, the honorable member for Hon.Cheruiyot Bett, the honorable Edna, you can take your seat as Honorable Hon.Cheruiyot Bett.
Mheshimiwa Songo. So I mean, mimi najua wabunge wa kaunti yetu ya Kericho, sijai sikia mheshimiwa ambaye anaitwa Songo. Kwa hivyo ningeomba tu afafanue ili tujue ni mheshimiwa mgani huyu anaitwa Songo.
Order, honorable member. Order. I think the matter was maybe the honorable member, as you come, it is in order to use the of course the official names of your honorable member of parliament.
Asante.
Yes.
Pole kwa hiyo. Hasa nilikuwa inasema mbunge wetu Nelson Koech. Haya. Tuelekeze maoni yetu sasa, ama maoni langu kwa idara ya afya. Hiyo ni idara ambaye sasa zingatia maisha ya kila mmoja. Na mimi ninajua zaidi kuhusu madhara ambaye iko kwa afya. Nimefanya miaka 12 nikiwa moja ya wafanyikazi wa afya nikiuza dawa. Na mimi nimeona vitu mingi. Nimeona malilio mingi ya watu wa mashinani. Wakati mwingine unapata watu wanaenda mahospitali na kazi ya daktari tu ni kuandikia madawa, na hakuna hata dawa hata mmoja. Kama ni dawa 6 hakuna hata mmoja. Na hapo ninashukuru gavana wetu, maana yeye ndiye hata ametembelea mahospitali mengi Kericho, na yeye amejionea, na wengine wetu tumejionea. Kwa hivyo maoni yangu ni kwamba hata kabla hatujaweka pesa hiyo idara, tujue ama tukae kwa mipango sisi wenyewe kwa mbunge hii ya Kericho. Tujue ni wapi tunaweka pesa, na tunaweka pesa, na hiyo pesa ikifika hapo inafanya kazi namna gani. Tutilie maanane sana, maana inapaki tu watu wakilia miaka nenda miaka rudi. Na kabla hatujafanya hiyo, tutakaa kabisa ili tuweze kupanga jinsi hiyo kazi ya hospitali itafanywa. Watu wanalia, na wanalia kweli. Unapata kwa idara ya afya hata pumzi kwa Kericho Rivaro, hospitali kuu ya Kericho, unapata ya kwamba tunakosa hata pumzi, mpaka watu wanapelekwa kwa mahospitali ya wenyewe wapate pumzi.
Order, honorable members. The standing orders is very clear. when you are consulting, consult silently. Honorable Chirchir.
Okay. Ya pili, ya tatu, tunaona kwamba sio nzuri kukoza maji kwa mahospitali. Maji ni moja ya uhai ya mtu. Na unapata mahospitali mengi tunakoza maji na hakuna hata kufanya kazi. Kazi bila maji kwa hospitali ni uchafu ya hali ya juu. Na hata wamama wetu ambaye tulisomewa kwa hotuba ya kwamba wengine wanalala wakiwa wawili, ukiwaza mafikirio yako ukumbuke bamoja bila maji hao watu wanaishi maisha gani? Tafadhali muda ikifika tukae kwa sababu mahospitali wanatuona na wanatutegemea. Kwa idara ya ukulima kwa Kericho, kaunti ya Kericho ni kitu ambaye kila mmoja wa raia wengi wanategemea ukulima. Zaidi ya 50% ni watu ambao ni wakulima. Na tunaona ya kwamba kuna changamoto mingi kwa ukulima. Mbolea inakuwa ya bei ya juu, na watu wangelima wanaona kulima saizi imekuwa hata bei zaidi ya kununua. Ndio unaona watu wengi sasa wanapendelea kununua na wako na mashamba. Kwa hivyo tukiwa bunge hili, mimi maoni yangu ni kwamba tuweze kupunguza ama kusaidia kwa njia lolote lile ili waweze kulima, watoe chakula. Chakula hiyo inatusaidia hata sisi na inapunguza maisha irudi chini. Hiyo tutaiona kwa urefu. Nilipoona tena ukulima wa chai, tumeshuhudia ukulima ya chai iko na shida mingi sana, na watu wengi wamemaliza shamba lao kuweka chai. Na sasa ninaomba ama wakati ikifika sasa tuweze kuona ya kwamba ukulima ya chai imewachiri watu wengi.
Order. Honorable Edna, take your seat. We point.
Mheshimiwa Spika, ningependa kumwarifu mheshimiwa mwenye amekuwa akisoma hotuba ya gavana, lakini ameenda kando kidogo, ameweza kutunga hotuba wake wa kutuelezea kuhusu jinsi shida ya wakulima wa majani chai wanakumbana. So ningependa Mheshimiwa Spika, mheshimiwa aweze kuzingatia, mheshimiwa aweze kuchangia kuhusu ama utaratibu na ile hotuba gavana alitoa. Asante.
Honorable members, having listened keenly to the Honorable Edna, I think it was part of her contribution on the address and the speech of the governor. Please continue.
Sasa nilikuwa nasema ya kwamba ukulima wa chai hasa ya Kabianga, mimi ninakaribia upande huo wa Kabianga. Kabianga Kericho County wako na chai ambaye hiyo chai ni eka mingi sana. Hiyo ingekuwa sasa ni pesa ambaye ingesaidia hii county yetu ya Kericho kwa mahali fulani. Na kwa hivyo tukiwa hii county ya 3 hii, tafadhalini tuone hiyo, kwa sababu hiyo ni pesa ambaye inaingia kwa county. Na kwa sasa badala hata sisi tutafute ile ya kutafuta kwa wamama mboga na nani, hiyo pesa ya Kabianga ukulima wa Kabianga ikuje kwa kaunti, isipotelee mikono ya watu wengine. Ninapoendelea kwa upande wa elimu, kila mmoja amepatika kwa elimu sana, na changamoto zaidi ambayo sisi tunaona kwa wakati kwa elimu ni kwamba tunapoteza watoto wetu wengi ambao ni werefu lakini hawana pesa. Na tunataka ombi langu ni kwamba kaunti hii ya 3 tuweze kuchipanga ili tuweze kupeana pesa ya kulipia watoto shule kwa wakati unaofaa, ili tuweze isikue kama wakati miaka zingine ambao unapata tu majina ya watoto kwa ukuta lakini pesa hakuna. Tuweze kuchipanga kabisa kabla hiyo kabla watoto wafukuzwe kwa shule. Na hasa sana kuna watoto ambao hawana kabisa, hawana wazazi, hawana hata chakula kwa nyumbani. Tuweze kutazama watoto kama hawa na tuwape pesa yote ya karo ya shule. Kuendelea na hiyo tena, hotuba yetu tuliambiwa ya kwamba tunaweza weka shule watoto 3,000. Mimi kwangu niliona hiyo ni kitu ama ni jambo ambalo litasaidia watoto wetu wengi. Litasaidia sasa wale ambao hawakuweza kuendelea zaidi kwa masomo kuenda shule kuu, ili ya kwamba wapate kusomea masomo kulingana na akili zao. Hiyo ninaunga mkono na ninawazii sana tuweze kuungana pamoja ili tupunguze watoto wanaorandaranda. Walimu ya watoto wachanga, tunasikia malilio wakati wowote ya kwamba kuna walimu ambao wameajiriwa na kaunti hawataatia kidole, na hao sasa ndio wanapata mshahara kidogo kidogo, na sio mzuri. Idara ya elimu ni lazima wakuwe ni idara ambayo wanaona mwalimu yeyote, kuanzia ya walimu wachanga hadi walimu wa chuo kikuu. Kwa hivyo ombi langu ni kwamba tuweze kutia vidole wale walimu wote na hata kuongeza kuajiri wengine. Kwa sasa ukosefu wa kazi, mimi nilikuwa nikisoma hiyo hotuba nikaona ya kwamba ukosefu wa kazi imekuwa jambo kubwa sana. Na sasa tukitilia maanane ukulima, watoto wetu wanaweza pata kazi. Na hasa tena nilikuwa naona ya kwamba labda tumekozea mahali ambapo tungeenda kuwafunza watoto wetu ambao wamemaliza shule waweze kuelewa kazi ni kazi. Watoto wetu wanasubaa wakimaliza shule, na hiyo ni kwa sababu hawawezi kujitafutia mikate yao wakati wanangojea kazi. Hiyo ndio imekuwa shida kwetu, maana watoto wanakaa tu wakingojea miaka mingi, miaka 10 na amemaliza shule. Watoto wetu wajue kazi ni kazi, pora pesa. So inabidi sisi tukiwa kaunti ya Kericho, assembly ya 3, tuweze kuchukua wakati kuwafunza watoto wajue jinsi wanatafuta pesa kabla wapate kazi. Nilikuwa naendelea kuona mambo ya biashara inatupea kazi. Nikaona tena mambo ya biashara inatupaza. Tuwasaidie wamama ambao wanauza mboga na wale wa bodaboda, kuwachengea mahali wanaweza chikinga wakati wa mvua. Na mimi nilikuwa naona wamama hawa ndio wanatupea ushuru sana, na sioni sababu ya kuwateza hawa wamama. Tuwasaidie sana wamama, wapate mafuli, na hata vijana wapate mahali wanachikinga wakati wa mvua. Tafadhalini tuwasaidie hawa sana katika kaunti ya 3, assembly ya 3 ya Kericho. Pesa ambao tunaomba tukiwa wamama, na ninafikiri kila mmoja amejionea ya kwamba wamama ni wengi kuliko wanaume. Na maisha ambayo tuko sasa, wamama ndio wanatafuta mkate ya kuwalisha familia sawa. Na hatuwezi furahia sana kuona wamama wakifinyiliwa ukuta, hasa ikifika wakati wa kukawa pesa. Pesa tuwape wamama, maana hawa ndio wanalisha familia yao sasa. Wamama ndio wanatafuta mkate, wanatoka sasa kuchuna chai, alafu wanarudi wanapigia watoto. Alafu unashangaa mzee ameenda kuanika, anaota chua huko nje, anarudi anapiga mama, hata unanipea ugali kidogo. Tafadhali tuwape pesa wa mama. Tunasikia uchungu, maana tunaona.
Order, honorable members. Order. Let's listen.
Pia nilipitia nikaona upande wa maji. Ukisikia China Kericho, county ya Kericho, watu huko nje hawezi amini ya kwamba Kericho kuna ukosefu ya maji. Na mimi nilifurahia hiyo hotuba sana niliposoma, nikaiona ya kwamba gavana wetu ameona ya kwamba ni lazima tuweke pesa mambo ya maji. Mimi nikiwa mama nasikia uchungu kushika ndoo kuenda kilomita 2 nitoe maji ya kukunywa. Tafadhali kaunti ya 3 tufanye kazi kwa makini sana. Tupunguze kila mwaka, tuone ni maji tumetolea watu kwa miaka 5, ni watu wangapi tumewapea maji. Tena niliona ushuru. Kwangu ninasikia ya kwamba kuna wakati hata sisi Kericho County tumewaacha watu wa kaunti ya Kisumu wanachukua hata ushuru kwa kaunti ya Kericho. Hii assembly yetu ya 3 tufikie mahali ya mwisho ambaye tunatoa ushuru wetu wa Kericho, na watu wengine wasichukue ushuru pale, na kila mmoja ashiriki kutoa ushuru ili tusaidie Kericho hii yetu. Hapo sasa nafikiri vile mimi nimeona na nikapitia nikaona sasa kila mmoja alikuja hapa kusaidia watu, na tumekuja kusaidia waraia ambao hawana sauti, na sisi ni sauti ya hawa waraia. Tuungane mikono, tushikane mikono pamoja kuwatetea watu ambao wanalia huko nje. Asanteni na Mungu awabariki.
Thank you very much, Honorable Member Edna Tanui. I think we all agree the importance of gender as enshrined in our constitution. And listening keenly to the Honorable Member, the way she has articulated issues, indeed it is a true statement that no human is limited. I want to join the Honorable Members here in appreciating the role of women in the society. and to tell you that you have full support of this House, and as your Speaker, we will work closely to ensure that all things are done in a manner that is required. The Honorable this member from Kipkelion, the Honorable Anthony Ruta.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker Sir, for giving me this opportunity so that I may also contribute on the Governor's speech during the opening of the County Assembly. First and foremost, I want to thank my good people of Kipkelion for giving me another chance. I want to appreciate them for the trust and confidence that they have in me. And I want to say before this Honorable House that I'll try my best to make sure that I represent them fully in terms of legislation, representation, and oversight. Number two, on the same note, I want to congratulate each and every honorable member for getting this chance to be members of County Assembly of this great county. I know this is only because of the favor of God. It is not because of our might. It is not because of our intelligence. It is not because of our riches to be here. But it is only God's favors. On the same note, again, Honorable Speaker, sir, I want to take this opportunity to congratulate you for being given this opportunity to serve as the Speaker of this great County Assembly. I want to wish you the best as you execute your mandate as the Speaker of this Assembly. On Governor's speech, I don't want to take much. I will only dwell on some specific areas because my colleagues have really elaborated much on the Governor's speech. Governor was able to emphasize on unity. I know in the absence of unity, you cannot be able to achieve much. I want to concur with the governor that for us to progress as a county assembly, as a county, we must be one. County assembly and the executive must work together in unity so that at the end of the day, we can be able to achieve our mandate as county of Kericho. I know our people are expecting us to deliver on this mandate. So I want to say that let us embrace unity so that at the end of the day, we can be able to achieve what is required of us as a county. Education. Our Excellency was able to elaborate much on education. As we are all aware that early childhood education is the mandate of the county. And say that for us to have quality education in our levels, we should also have quality education in early childhood. And for that, to achieve that, we must make sure that all necessary things must be put in place. And among this, infrastructure. I want to appreciate, it has been a long time. Before the inception of devolved units, early childhood education was, the administration and management of early childhood education was done in partnership. And mostly it was done by the parents. But I want to thank the inception of devolved units, because immediately after the inception of devolved units, there are so many things that have taken place in early childhood education as far as infrastructure is concerned. If you can go to our county, to our wards, our respective wards, you can be able to see good classrooms that are well built. For example, in my first term, most of us in our first term, 2017-2022, we were able to construct an average of 7 to 8 ECD classrooms that are well constructed, and most of them again are well equipped. Even so, much is still required in that particular area. But I want to agree that the classrooms that are there are much better than the ones we had before the inception of devolved units. Number two, another thing that was key, that was mentioned by the governor, is confirmation of ECD teachers. This one is a welcomed idea, so that at the end of the day, these teachers can be well motivated, and when they are well motivated, they can be able to deliver in their various schools. So I really echo that one. Another very important thing again, as we are all aware that our wards are not the same in terms of size. For example, my ward, Kipkelion Ward, and those other areas in Kipkelion West, and Kipkelion East, and parts of Soin and Ainamoi. Some of our wards are expansive. As we are talking now, some of our ECD teachers have not been employed by county government of Kericho. So as we are trying to confirm those ones who are already employed by county, those ECD centers that have not gotten teachers employed, they should also be considered. Another thing again is on health. That was elaborated by the governor. Health is paramount. A healthy population can be able to produce. Much is still required in our health sector. My colleagues have already mentioned several things concerning the same. Lack of trucks in our hospitals is something that is wanting. That one should be addressed immediately, so that at the end of the day, the health of our people can be able to be taken care of. Another thing again that is wanting in our health facilities is that most of our health facilities are poorly equipped. So I want also to echo the speech of the governor on equipping adequately our health facilities. We have also health personnel that are working, that are in internship. So I want to echo again the speech of our Excellency Governor by saying that those ones who are in internship should be confirmed. Another thing that of concern is that we were able to construct new health facilities in our wards. Unfortunately, most of them have not been opened because of lack of personnel. So the same also should be addressed so that at the end of the day, these facilities can be opened after being given personnel. On healthcare, I want again to appreciate the speech of the governor by touching on NHIF. This one also is paramount. At the end of the day, those ones who really deserve should be given first consideration. Those ones who can be able to take care of themselves in terms of NHIF should be encouraged. Should be encouraged to do this, to get for themselves NHIF. Another very important thing is revenue collection. Revenue collection, as we are all aware, is really something that is wanting in our county. What we are receiving from national government is not enough to take care of what we require as a county. So I want to agree with the governor that we should put modalities in place so that at the end of the day, we can be able to enhance revenue collection in our county. Bursaries. As we are all aware that poverty level among our population is very high. So bursaries for the last 2-3 years has been very much inconsistent. So I want to agree again with the governor by saying that in future, bursaries allocation will be consistent so that at the end of the day, those ones who deserve can be able to be given these bursaries to take care of their education. Lastly, Honorable Speaker, sir, water. Water is life. I want to appreciate again that we have really achieved a lot because of devolved units. Even though most of our people have not gotten water in a required level, but still we want to appreciate that we have achieved a lot in terms of water provision. So I want to agree and appreciate the governor by saying that those areas that have already have water connected, we should be able to make this one consistent, and those ones which have not received water, we shall put in place modalities so that these areas can have water. Agriculture is the backbone of our economy. Kipkelian West, our cash crop is coffee. And I want to appreciate him by saying that we should put in place mechanism to see to it that we expand coffee, planting of coffee in areas that are planting coffee, also sugarcane, tea, and what have you. So I want to agree with the governor that our people should be given coffee seedlings so that at the end of the day, they can be able to plant coffee in their farms, and from there they can be able to improve their livelihoods. So with those many remarks, Honorable Speaker, sir, I want to say thank you so much for giving me this opportunity to contribute on Governor's speech. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, the Honorable Hon.Cheruiyot. I will now give to the Honorable, in this order, I give to the Honorable Ngetich of Kisiara, and then I'll give it to Honorable Koska of Kunya. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir, for giving me this opportunity. Could be to start by thanking God and also my great people of Kishara for making me to be here in this other time also, Mr. Speaker, sir. Second is to congratulate you for being elected to be the Speaker for this particular assembly, the third assembly. And also last, to congratulate the honorable members for being elected from various wards and also those nominated because they have been given a chance to serve the good people of our county. Mr. Speaker, sir, pertaining the speech of the governor, it is much elaborated and it has been dealt on. And my also area of appreciation is on the side of could be the health sector, which has been made clear by other honorable members, that there is much which the honorable governor is proposing to do as far as what health is actually entailing. The building of this oncology center, Mr. Speaker, sir, is just but of great importance to our county, because you remember our people at the moment are being just referred to Eldoret for further medication, and when it comes to cancer patients, we don't have any area in this county of ours in which they can be attended to. So let me just applaud the Honorable Governor, the Excellency the Governor, for that particular speech, and also to applaud him on what he has undertaken to create the till numbers for the hospitals. That is an indication of trying to safeguard the resources of this particular county of ours, and in the long run we will have so many resources, Mr. Speaker, sir, to have the county running in many aspects, Mr. Speaker. Second is the bursary allocation, which of course he mentioned clearly, which was actually, you also know because you're in the system, that Kabianga Tea Farm could not actually give us any substantial amount to assist our county to grow. The specification by the governor, or His Excellency the Governor, to actually have the source and the proceeds from these particular farms, this is Kabianga Farm and the Kipkelian Coffee Farm, that we have the same money and the proceeds be used in allocating bursaries to our students who are working in schools, Mr. Speaker, sir. Let me just applaud that, and we expect Honorable House to also look on the same, that we really have this as our agenda. The scholarship for the feds, Mr. Speaker, sir, is of great importance too, and also the offer of the internship, which of course I'm very sure the feds are normally the students who are from the vulnerable background, Mr. Speaker, sir. I'm very sure if we enhance, as he has said, that we have about 3,000 joining these feds under scholarship, we will improve the education standard in this county of ours. And in the long run, we will have 3/4 of our people earning, and in the long run, we will have a very rich county when it comes to having resources. Let me also highlight, Mr. Speaker, on the shades, in which I remember being the second term MCA, I remember us allocating funds to build these border shades. And we also understand, Mr. Speaker, since you are in the finance docket, we appropriated funds and the money was there, you also attested, but there was an issue of saying we are not supposed to build on road reserves. Let me appreciate the governor because he has spearheaded in his speech that we will have the shades for border men and women, and also the shades for those business ladies who are working in various markets. And mainly from the sub-county of ours, Mr. Speaker, we have a very busy market called on road, Mr. Speaker, sir, where our mothers are really selling pineapples. And the pineapples are being sold at the open air. Our moms are running up and down. They are chasing vehicles, Mr. Speaker, sir. It is a high time that we have shades, the reasonable shades in which people do go there to buy pineapples in a very respectable way, rather than our women running up and down, chasing vehicles, Mr. Speaker, sir. Mr. Speaker, sir, we really appreciate this, and in the long run, we should have a very peaceful business enterprises in this particular county. Lastly, Mr. Speaker, let me comment on the issue of water. The supply of water to all areas, the all homes highlighted by the speech of His Excellency the Governor. From the Bureau, the sub-county where I do come from, Mr. Speaker, our main problem is water. And when we really see this as a speech from His Excellency the Governor, I'm very sure we will have the first undertaking to be made in Bureti, where we have Kapkatet sub-county hospitals with no water, Mr. Speaker, sir. As highlighted by our Honorable Lady Mheshimiwa Edna, she has said that these creative women are really suffering. Whenever they go to hospital, they at times go with jerrycans, Mr. Speaker, full of water for them to go and deliver in hospitals. So we wonder whether we are really default or it is a problem. But with the emphasis of whatever the governor has made, I'm very sure we will have all our county areas having piped waters. By this doing, Mr. Speaker, I want to pray that may the honorable members also stand with the speech of the governor, say that we may deliver whatever he has actually mentioned pertaining his speech. Mr. Speaker, sir, I'm very sure we'll progress well and have a fantastic county in the long run. Thank you, and may God bless all of us.
Thank you very much, the Honorable Ngetich, member for Kisiara Ward. I now give to the Honorable Simon Koske, and then I'll give to the Honorable Matthew, and then on that order I'll give to the Honorable Kibet, and from there I will proceed the Honorable Member for Kunyak.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker, for giving me this chance to present my views. And first, before I reiterate what the governor, the speech of the governor, let me thank the people of Gunyak, especially my family who stood with me during the time of campaign, and the people of Gunyak for their prayer, their support, and the votes they fought for me. And thanks very much. Secondly, let me congratulate you, the Speaker, for the position, for election, for winning, be our Speaker for this third County Assembly of Kericho, and also my members, honorable members, elected and nominated members. Congratulations for the position you have been given with your people. Let me go to the speech for the governor, and I not elaborate so much for this speech because the governor touches most of what we are promising outside there. In concerning with the health, when we come to the rating system in Kericho Ward, Kericho County, especially wards, when other wards are crying for the drugs and expansion of the health facilities, there in Konyak, we are crying for the old facility. For saying so, the only one which has no health center, has no clinical officer, has no lab, and the hospital we use NHIF is Konyak Ward. So for what the governor said in his speech concerning the health, I also thank the governor for taking that as one of the first agenda which must be taken into consideration. And my request to the governor and the entire team, let us support Konyak. Konyak is the last in Kericho County. We have no clinical officer. My people in Konyak are taking treatment in Nyanza County, Moroni, St. Vincent, Rachar, and Mission Hospital. So in Konyak, we are growing everything in terms of health. When I go to infrastructures, roads, water, and other infrastructures, The place also in Cognac, we don't have even a single tarmac road, even an inch. And that is why even I myself, I appreciate people of Cognac. I said my policy, my agenda, and they fought along my policy. In terms of education, bursary is the key. And in disbursement of the bursary, I request every ward to have the policy on how he or she disperse his bursary to the students in school. If there is a framework, it is good, but my request in the bursary, we disperse the bursary in your policy so that the vulnerable students and the family to benefit from those bursary. In terms of the water, there is no problem in Cognac, only pipes is needed so that we pipe water to the family, because in Cognac is a hilly, a terrain area, which we have so many catchment areas. We don't even measure on mega projects in terms of water. We measure only on pipes so that we take water from streams. We have several streams in terms of water. And lastly, in scholarships, I concur with that one. What I will now add on top of the speech, they are our brothers and sisters who are trained in Kiabuagan. There in Cognac, they train 20, which are security officers. They only employ 5. 15 are outside there. And I request the government, as we consider permanence and pensionable in ECD, we also consider those people, because it is our brothers and sisters. For those few remarks, let me say thanks for the opportunity you have been given to me. And I urge you, the members, let's cooperate, let's work together. Teamwork is very important. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, the Honorable Member for Cognac. I'm aware that I directed during the last sitting or session that this speech be deliberated upon the last sitting of our the last session of our last sitting, and today morning. And looking at our time, honorable members, we have like 1.5 hours, unless the motion will be moved to adjust. But I wanted to humbly request that honorable members now, of course, giving their maiden speech as well as giving their comments in this debate, to request you that if we can take at least 3 minutes each, then we will be within our time. So the honorable member for Hon.Cheruiyot, Matthew Korir.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Speaker, sir. Let me take this opportunity first to thank Almighty God for giving me the opportunity to be in this room today. I know that I've been trying all along since 2017 and now 2022. I was able to be here with my colleagues who have been elected in different wards, and I want to take this opportunity also to congratulate them, and also all nominated MCAs who are in this honorable house today. Two, I want to thank also my family for the great support they have been giving me since I joined politics. And two, I want also to thank Chaik residents for believing in my cause, for believing in my manifesto and policies, and giving me this opportunity also to represent them in this honorable house. I want also to thank the religious leaders who stood by me, who managed day in, day out to pray for this cause. You know, in politics also, you must seek the kingdom you must seek God so that He'll open a way for all of us. I want to say thank you, and also to congratulate and to thank my online brigade who supported me despite all other abuse language that our competitors could use. I want to say thank you to them. And I want also to thank my a worthy competitor who managed even not even to proceed to court to block my way in to this county assembly. And I want to promise that the resident of Hon.Cheruiyot, I will work for them. I will make sure anything that they need to get, they will get. Mr. Speaker, sir, let me also congratulate you for being elected the Speaker of this third assembly. I know that the campaign was so tough, especially on your side, since the only machinery that you had was CORD and some of us. But this house is one, and you are the Speaker of all 47 MCAs. Thank you so much, and I want to congratulate you. On the governor's speech, Governor managed to touch various departments. One, on agriculture, I've seen that he promised also that he has to have a flagship project that is some industries within our county, sugar industry, flour mill industry, and coffee industry. But the way I understand, the government is only to give investors a very good environment to do business and to invest in a county. So we wish that God will give us that wisdom and give us resources so that as time goes by, we will be legislating and giving bills, bringing bills to this honorable house to ensure that this county get the best of our ideas and the best of our support so that the governor can implement and make sure he lobby for more investors to come to our county. I remember that in issues mechanization, I think I'm the landlord of this mechanization. So my ward is covered by almost, let's say, 90%, because Kipchebor ward is covered by, let's say, 5%, Chepseon ward 5%. The issue of mechanization, during my campaign, I promised people living along the highway, the boundaries, that if we can negotiate with multinationals and have 70-30, this will help us to have like 70% being manual work to be done by our resident, and 30% can be done using mechanization, so that also these companies can get a profit in their way of doing business. On the issue of health, I want to congratulate and to thank the governor for mentioning that going forward, our people, our residents of this county will not be coming to hospitals only to be given some list of drugs to go and buy. But I know that next they will be able to store enough drugs, and they will be able even to ensure that the staffs in that facilities will be providing service to the people of this county without any condition. We have seen that the governor have introduced pay bills. We have been discussing this issue all along, waiting that if the county government, and I'm happy, Mr. Speaker, you are here. I think also when you are the CEC Finance, and I want to congratulate the new or the current CEC Finance, although we have not vetted them, but I know what they have done to introduce the pay bills. You failed a bit during that time. So, Mr. Speaker, I know that going forward we'll support.
Order, honorable member. You are out of order.
Okay.
You need
I withdraw.
Stick to the address as by His Excellency the Governor, and secondly, as requested, that we keep time so that yes, order, honorable members, order. Let's consult again, not loudly. The Honorable Chirchir, what is it?
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, sir. Like we said earlier on, we are a house of rules and procedures. When an honorable member makes serious allegations against the chair or the speaker, Mr. Speaker, sir, and the honorable member casually withdraws and does not make it clear which part is he withdrawing from, Mr. Speaker, sir, telling us that our speaker failed. Mr. Speaker, sir, that is a very serious matter, Mr. Speaker, sir. So can the member be informed that is totally out of order, Mr. Speaker, sir?
Order, honorable members. Order, the Honorable Hon.Cheruiyot Matthew. You are out of order. Can you please withdraw your remarks? And order, stick to the address.
Okay, thank you, Mheshimiwa. Thank you, Honorable Member from Kapsoit, for informing me, and I withdraw the statement that I have made against the chair. Okay. On education, I think this is the area that I'm interested with, and according to the governor's speech, he mentioned with a lot of passion on issues of bursary, and this is where Chaik people and Chaik residents will be very happy if implement as by the speech that he will be releasing bursaries on time. He will make sure that also we increase the budget on bursary. We have also under education the issue of ECD teachers. In my ward since 2013, Mr. Speaker, sir, no even a single ECD teacher has been employed by this county government. But I'm happy today because during the governor's speech, he mentioned that he will be able to he will be giving opportunities to all ECD teachers who are under who are not yet confirmed, and also those who are waiting for employment. Mr. Speaker, sir, I want to say thank you and also promise honorable members here today that our unity will make us go far. Our unity will make us grow. My parting shot is that a great leader is a dealer of hope. A great leader is a dealer of unity. A great leader is a dealer of development. So for us to develop this county, we need unity. For us to go, for us to make sure that our people get the service the way they need, I know that we need to unite and work together. Congratulations, Mr. Speaker, sir, and congratulations, honorable members. Going forward, we will be working together. And for the senior members, it is our first time to be in this honorable house. Mentor us, make us great debaters. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, the Honorable Kibet, and then I'll give to the Honorable Kiptobi. Honorable members, let's stick to 3 minutes, please.
Thank you so much, Mr. Speaker, sir. Let me take this opportunity, first of all, thank the Almighty God for giving us the opportunity to be here in this honorable house. Secondly, Mr. Speaker, sir, I want to congratulate you, as I congratulate honorable members for being elected to this honorable house. And in a very special way, I want to thank the people of Chaplanget Ward for giving me the chance to be here. And again, allow me to single out my family, and especially my mother. She is not here with us. She has gone to rest with angels. And in a very special way, I want to thank her for standing with me all along up to the day she passed on. And in that connection, Mr. Speaker, sir, allow me to take this time to thank the honorable members who stood with me. I will not be able to mention them by their names, but collectively, allow me to take this opportunity to thank them for standing with me during my time of grief. It was so bad, and for those members who might not have heard about the news, I lost my mother when the politics was at its peak. That was on June 19. And I thank you members for coming all the way from Konyak, all the way from Tendeno, to my colleagues from Buret. I want to thank you in a very special way. God bless you. God bless your families. Mr. Speaker, sir, I want to talk about the speech of the governor. And the first thing which touches my heart is the issue of health. I lost my mother due to cancer. She succumbed to cancer. The cancer is a threat to our society. A cancer is a disease you could wish, the last wish you could give to your enemy is to wish him to get cancer. It does not only affect the patient, it affects even the society, it affects the family. I personally, I cut weight to around, I was around 54, but I got to around 46, slightly above Kiptuya. So it was so, sorry, I withdraw. Okay, sorry. I withdraw and apologize to Mheshimiwa Vincent Kirui. Thank you so much. So I was saying, being the last one in my family, I used to take to my mother to referral, MDRH. And if our hospitals and dispensaries could be doing as prescribed by the Constitution and as been said on revolution, this case could not have been where it reached. One, we took our mother to dispensary, and dispensary, I took my time over there from Thursday to Friday, walking around dispensaries, and I realized that in the shelves of those dispensaries, you only find non-essential drugs. You get to a hospital, and when you check, and you realize that those people are being ordered to order drugs on a template which stripped off the essential drugs, like for hypertension, you don't find the template because those people are ordering online, and me being somebody who understands some things on storekeeping, you realized that those people are given a template with drugs that are not essential. You find antifungal in my area. There are no problems concerning the fungal problems. So you don't find for hypertension, for diabetes, even for ulcers, even these drugs like omeprazole, you missed in our hospitals. And those are the cases we usually attend in our dispensaries. So we need an equipped. So when the governor talked about equipping and upgrading at least a facility in our areas, I felt so good. And if that motion is brought to the table, I beg honorable members, we passed it on the shot immediately. We don't even have to discuss. We don't even have to debate about it. We need to pass it. Number two, when he talked about the internship program, in my area, it's good because he touched on it. In my area, we have a lot of problems. When I was going around the village, I was promising, I personally am in charge of 7 sublocations. So each sublocation, I promised a job. That's a PA, of which it's not possible. That was a campaign tool, and we are trying to now manage the promises.
Honorable member.
Yeah, and I was talking about the internship programs.
Yes.
So if governor is going to implement that issue about...
Honorable
okay,
member,
thank you.
Please, the Honorable Hon.Cheruiyot.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, sir. Like again, we said we are a house of rules and procedures. Everything that we discuss and that we debate in this honorable house goes to the Hansard, Mr. Speaker, sir. So as we speak, the message from the honorable member from Cheplanget has gone to the Hansard, that he promised 7 locations, personal assistance, but he is also accepting that it is not possible. So in short, he lied, Mr. Speaker, sir. So, Mr. Speaker, sir, can the honorable member please withdraw and apologize so that it is expunged from the Hansard, Mr. Speaker, sir?
Honorable member, Honorable Hon.Cheruiyot, order first, honorable member. Alive to the fact that the honorable member for Cheplanget did say that he promised personal assistance to the constituents, and having told us that he has 7, I think it is within his purview to ensure that those that he promised, ensure that he gets the job. The only direction that I give here is that I think as an assembly, as you put it, we are a house of rules and procedures, and matters to deal with employment of personal assistant, I think the member shall be guided accordingly by the office of the clerk. And therefore, you may not need to substantiate so much and withdraw the comments, because unless the context that you meant was purely lies, as indicated by the Honorable Paul Chirchir. Therefore, I direct that you continue, and let's keep time as I have requested you. You have a minute, Honorable Member, please.
Okay, thank you so much. True, but it was not a lie anyway. I promised them thinking that it will be possible, only to realize when I was here that it's not possible. So, Mr. Speaker, sir, so when the governor talked about the internship programs, it was to our side a safe, it could have safeguarded our interests. So finally, Mr. Speaker, sir, due to the interest of time, I, being an accountant, they say you cannot spend what you do not earn. So when the governor promised all these things, and even us, we promised these people all this on our manifestos, I came to ask myself, where will we get this money? So I had an honorable member talking about collection of revenue. I felt, even last week when we were going around these streets with our friend's car, the fellas who are collecting revenues, they are collecting manually. So we should see a way or a modality where we can automate these procedures of collecting revenues, so that we can make our, this financial year, 2021, 2022, we collected for around hardly 499 million. Well, we are so much relying on CRA equity allocation, of which it's not possible to sustain the current economy, especially in our area. So, with those very many remarks, Mr. Speaker, sir, I wish this county assembly to be the best county assembly, where we can find in your office trophies being the best speaker in the government or in the Republic of Kenya. Thank you so much. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you so much, the Honorable Member for Cheblanget, and thank you, and I hope that your prayers shall be answered. The thing that I want to say, Honorable Members, we as a house still condole with you as a family, and I like the particular aspect that you have used your mother as a case example, especially linking it to the address by His Excellency the Governor on matters of health. I'll encourage this house that as the Committee of Health, when they are properly constituted, to look into that matter, so that at least some of these cases can be looked into and dealt with on time. The Honorable Kiptobi, and then I'll give it to the Honorable Gabriela, and then I'll now give it to the Honorable Isma. From there, I will rule. Let's stick to 3 minutes. I still request.
Thank you very much, Mheshimiwa Speaker. Allow me 1 minute, Speaker. First, to thank the great people of Kapsaos for electing me to be to be their member of County Assembly. Number two, allow me again to thank my family, led by my dear wife and the children, for the support actually they gave me during my campaign. On top of that, I also want to thank my campaign team that did a lot of work to see to it that I succeeded to be their member. I have a very special team, Mheshimiwa Speaker, to thank. One, Honorable Paul Chirchir from Kapsoit, Hon.Cheruiyot Bett from Ainamoi, Honorable Monica, and a lady who was with me during my campaign. They came on my reinforcement on the last days of my campaign, and they assisted me a lot to come to this house, plus my Honorable Member of Parliament, Mheshimiwa Benjamin Langat. Thank you very much, my colleagues. Going straight to Governor's speech, Mheshimiwa Speaker, first, in Governor's speech on 28th, looking at on the cover page of governor's speech, Honorable Governor first recognized his deputy governor. And to date, we've not heard his apology of not coming here. We don't know of his whereabouts. And maybe as a father figure, Honorable Speaker, maybe you can chip in and get to know what is happening with the governor and his deputy. Mheshimiwa Speaker, our governor did mention a lot of things which he promised to deliver. I don't want to mention a lot of things because my colleagues have already touched on so many things. But one thing that Governor mentioned is about we as a house, we should be one family. I also want to ask honorable members that moving forward, we need to be one. We need to move as a team. Indeed, we as members plus the staff led by the able clerk, we need to move as one team. I remember, I hope it is still fresh in your mind, Honorable Speaker, when you were first announced that you are the winner, you overheard a lot of ululations and celebrations outside, which made me think that there was something wrong with the previous leadership. I want to ask you and ask this honorable house that we move together. The honorable members and the staff, let us be one so that we succeed together. Allow me again to congratulate you. I know you passed a lot of, challenges, but having you there, please direct this house in the right direction and, let us have everybody on board. Our governor touches on so many things, but I want to touch on one area, maybe because of time, in the side of health. Honorable Speaker, last week I had an opportunity with some 2 members of this great assembly to visit a family that lost their loved one. It was a concern of that family that we bring to the attention of this house. They went through so many challenges, traveling to Eldoret, flying to Eldoret. Some of them, they came from outside the country, and their mom was sick. It was their concern about our county and what is happening actually in our referral hospital. They did ask us to bring to your attention, maybe moving forward, we need to do something in our referral hospital, and maybe we ask ourselves, why? Are a referral hospital referring patients to a private hospital in another county? The doctors or the nurses referring patients from a public institution to a private institution without giving any reason. And these nurses or doctors, they instill fear on the family members or maybe the patient that if you doesn't go to this hospital, maybe things will go in a wrong way. In the near future, I want to ask, I know we have professionals here in that health sector. We need to find out the problem that is in our hospital and the problem that is making, our nurses and doctors referring patients to a private hospital. I have one currently which was referred to a private hospital. The bills which are coming out as at now are not so pleasing because they inflate, some of the things. Let me touch something on education. When I was coming in the morning, Mheshimiwa Speaker, most of our schools, or most of our children are facing challenges, in terms of school fees. We had said we need to set a way out on these bursaries. Let us have proper guidelines so that when we set some money for bursaries, it's meant for bursaries to assist our children, and to assist our parents. This county is quite rich, for your information, in terms of agriculture. One of the key things that brought me to this assembly, Mheshimiwa Speaker, I had an opportunity when I was elected as one of the chairs to chair a program led by World Bank, that is Kenya Climate Smart. Kapsaus was a beneficiary. And me standing here, I'm still the chair of that program. And this program has really assisted our people. One of the groups that I lead, in 2 weeks, some 2 weeks ago, one of the members was outside this country on a Japanese exhibition on a value addition products that they make on sorghum. So to me, this country is rich in terms of agriculture. It's only we, the leadership, to provide the direction and to provide proper guidelines to assist our people. Most of our health facilities in our wards, Mheshimiwa Speaker, have challenges. And the challenges they face, one, as mentioned by my colleagues, is drugs and the human resource. Because most of the facilities, yes, they are there, but without proper human resource to assist the patients, we are leading on a wrong direction. Lastly, Mheshimiwa Speaker, I want to mention something on what the governor said about asking us to be his lieutenants on scaling down the mechanization machines in the multinationals. I, as member of County Assembly of Kapsaus, I bounder these multinationals. And when these machines were brought in, it affected my area in a big way. One, we have 2 marketplaces in Kapsaus. One of the market areas, that is Kapsaus Market, it's dead as we talk, because when the machines were brought in, most of our people who are working in the multinationals are no more there. So I want to appeal maybe to members, when governor, will be trying to negotiate with multinationals, we get a team also from here, to agitate on the same course. Otherwise, I want to end by there because of time. But I know I want to ask finally that please, we started on a wrong footing, because one, I told you I had a lady, a BWD, whom I went around with campaigning for me by the name Beatrice, and finally she was not here. With the governor's speech that we are going to give the youth what belongs to the youth, the women that belongs to the women, and to the BWDs what belongs to them. this county started on a wrong footing because I don't see Beatrice here. Moving forward, I want to ask your office, maybe if you can fix the two, especially the BWDs who are supposed to be nominated, to get someplace, to assist them, take care of their families. I want to appeal, please assist. Otherwise, we are praying for you as our speaker, so that may God get you wisdom to lead this house and to combine the entire team, to take our county forward. Thank you, and may God bless you.
Thank you very much, the Honorable Member for Caps House. The Honorable Gabriela, then I'll give to the Honorable Richard Langat. Yes, and the Honorable Members, let's stick to 3 minutes. I know this is a maiden speech, but let's try to keep time. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir, for this opportunity. Okay, first and foremost, I would like to request honorable members who are senior in this house that kindly, I humbly request, don't rise in a point of order, because some of us are new here. We don't know even to switch this here. So please, we are learning. We've not even gone to the induction.
Order, Honorable Member. Order. The Speaker rules that you are out of order. Please give your maiden speech and also give your comments or contribution to the speech.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir. I withdraw. Okay, first and foremost, I'd like to thank God for this opportunity and also for being here. It's by His honors and mercies that I'm here. Okay, Mr. Speaker, sir, I would like also to thank my parents for standing with me, also my siblings and also my son Trevor Bett. Mr. Speaker, sir, secondly, I would like to thank the UDA Kenya Kwanza team for acknowledging what the ladies did in the campaign, the outgoing campaigns. Also, Mr. Speaker, I would like to greatly thank His Excellency, the Governor for Kericho County, Dr. Eric Mutai, for also acknowledging the youthful generation and also to their contributions to this politics of this nation. Mr. Speaker, I want also to congratulate you for winning this election to become the 3rd County Assembly Speaker. Also to congratulate members, honorable members, for being elected and also being nominated to this house. Congratulations, all of you. Mr. Speaker, I want also to thank so much my area MCA, Member of County Assembly, that is Honorable Hon.Cheruiyot, for also accepting me to be in his jurisdiction of place, that is Tebesoni Quad. Thank you so much. Mr. Speaker, on the governor's speech, the first point was about the issue of unity. And Mr. Speaker, sir, I want to say in this honorable house that without unity, there is nothing that we will achieve. Without unity of purpose, without teamwork, Mr. Speaker, sir, there is a quote which says that a society or any political setup that is not united or does not work hand in hand is doomed to perish. So, Mr. Speaker, sir, I would like to urge and beseech the honorable members in this house that the unity is the one that we need. We need to be united in our legislation, representation, and all our duties. Mr. Speaker, sir, I want to use the explanation of the Bible. During the building of the Tower of Babel in the Bible, the builders began to speak different languages, and a very huge tower fell and was distracted. So, Mr. Speaker, sir, I don't want this house to be made or go down in history to be a house that failed the citizens who elected them. Members of this county assembly, I want to urge us that may our core purpose and may our core intentions of being seated in this honorable house be to represent and also to help the people that elected you and also the people that you represent on ground. Mr. Speaker, sir, another issue that the governor talked about was education. We know that in this manifesto, education is also, we know that education is the basic foundation of a human generation that is set to prosper. Mr. Speaker, in our early ages when we were young, we were told that education is like a sweet, and it's true. Education has taken other people to dine with kings, and also some of us, education have brought us here. I was elected on basis of, I was nominated on basis of a champion and a student activist, also a student leader in the University of Kabianga. Mr. Speaker, I want to say that education is good, but in this nation, these days, you do not know now the difference between the educated and the ones who never went to school. Sometimes you find those who went to school are at home, but the one who never went to school are doing big jobs, driving big cars. Then now you are surprised. Is there a need? But yes, there is a need, Mr. Speaker, sir. On the issue of education, after the youth have been educated, we've also, the governor talked about the issue of revolving funds. The educated people, the border people, and the women in the markets can be given these revolving funds so that they can begin businesses that will flourish and also support the living standards of the people of this great nation. Mr. Speaker, sir, as I conclude, I want to say that I want to urge members, we should also have unity. I want to complete by unity again. The unity between the county assembly and also the executive body of this government. We should support them, and also they should also support us. Although there is separation of powers, but we both work out hand in hand to achieve the goals of helping the citizens of this great nation. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir, for giving this opportunity. God bless you all. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, the Honorable Member, Gabriela. The Honorable Ismail.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for granting me this opportunity. I thank you so much. I'd like to congratulate you for on election as the third Speaker of Kericho County. And I also thank you for giving me the voice of the hustlers, the minority group, and the marginalized group in Kericho County. Thank you so much, Mr. Speaker. Let me take this opportunity also to congratulate both the elected and the nominated member assembly of Kericho County. Mr. Speaker, sir, let me also thank the Almighty Allah and to my party, the United Democratic Alliance, and to the great people of Kericho County. I'm indeed indebted to them so much, Mr. Speaker, sir, despite my background, despite being negligible minority here. They have shown a tremendous faith in me, Mr. Speaker, sir. They are testimony to the fact that our diversity is our strength, Mr. Speaker, sir. Mr. Speaker, sir, I'm so much grateful for the favor and honor to serve them, and I am so honored and so humbled by the great gestures, Mr. Speaker, sir. May the Almighty Allah enable us to become faithful and servant leaders of this great county, Mr. Speaker, sir. Mr. Speaker, sir, concerning pertaining the speech of the Governor's Excellency Dr. Eric Mutai, let me also contribute on three areas: health sector, education, and the market plan, Mr. Speaker, sir. Mr. Speaker, sir, the Constitution of Kenya guarantees every citizen the right to the highest attainable standard of healthcare, including reproductive health, Mr. Speaker, sir. In this regard, I support the plan of His Excellency, the governor in raising the budgetary allocation for health department, Mr. Speaker, sir. This will enable the county government to address the needs for healthcare. Mr. Speaker, sir, these needs include the shortage of essential drugs in a hospital. Mr. Speaker, sir, for instance, our hospital, Kericho River Hospital, our mothers is dying in hospital. Our mothers are sharing beds. The only medicine you find in a hospital is amoxicillin, paracetamol, and Panadol, Mr. Speaker, sir. So, honorable members and Mr. Speaker, we need to do something to increase the budgetary allocation for health, Mr. Speaker, sir. Mr. Speaker, sir, the intention by the county governor, Dr. Hon.Cheruiyot, also to cover the vulnerable resident of Kericho with the NHIF is also a welcome move, Mr. Speaker, sir. Mr. Speaker, sir, medical treatment is so expensive, especially to the common mananchi. Mr. Speaker, sir, I believe with the introduction of NHIF, families across Kericho County will be covered and they will be able to access affordable healthcare services, Mr. Speaker, sir. Mr. Speaker, sir, the plan by the county administration led by Dr. Hon.Cheruiyot to set up an oncology center to handle cancer patients is also an important move, Mr. Speaker, sir. Mr. Speaker, sir, cancer researches transform and saves lives, Mr. Speaker, sir. Mr. Speaker, sir, I urge the honorable members to support these great initiatives. Mr. Speaker, sir, on matters of education, making bursary allocation in the budget will ensure that pupils and students of this great county access education. The 3,000 scholarship for Bett students will go a long way in enhancing skills necessary for employment in skill-based enterprises, Mr. Speaker, sir. Finally, Mr. Speaker, sir, the plan to construct a market shares for non-progress and abolition blocks for traders and customers is also imperative news, Mr. Speaker, sir, pertaining the speech of the governor. So finally, Mr. Speaker, sir, I urge honorable members, let us support our governor achieve the dreams of this country. Without further words, Mr. Speaker, sir, I support the motion.
Thank you very much, the Honorable Ishmael, and maybe for the purposes of this assembly, I'm being informed that Isma, because you know we appreciate the fact that we come from different backgrounds, just for the sake of the Honorable Member and the Speaker himself, please. Can you please give us your full names, pronounce your name so that it becomes easier for us. I'm told I'm out of order when I say Isma.
Yeah, Mr. Speaker, my name is Isaac Matkar, aka Isma.
Thank you very much, the Honorable Isaac. I now give it to the Honorable the Honorable Richard Langat, and then I'll yes.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, sir. First of all, Mr. Speaker, sir, let me take this opportunity to thank my people, my great people of Kedoa Kimugul, for giving me this chance to be in this honorable house. Mr. Speaker, sir, and having tried several times to enter into this house, Mr. Speaker, sir, how this is my great and my thankful to the people of Kedoa Kimugul for giving me this great chance to represent them, legislate for them, and do oversight for them. So, Mr. Speaker, sir, I will take my time, maybe secondly, to thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir, for being elected the Speaker of that assembly, Mr. Speaker, sir. So, Mr. Speaker, sir, and on Governor's speech, Mr. Speaker, sir, let me go straight, Mr. Speaker, sir, to some areas, Mr. Speaker, sir, even though most of my
fellow members have touched. So I'll also like to touch on few things, Mr. Speaker, sir, as regards to agriculture. Mr. Speaker, sir, when I heard about our governor touching on big projects like coffee mill, maize mill, milk processor, Mr. Speaker, sir, I applaud his speech, Mr. Speaker, sir, about that. But Mr. Speaker, sir, on the other hand, Mr. Speaker, sir, maybe I could not heard from him, Mr. Speaker, sir, where the funds from these ambitious projects will come from, Mr. Speaker, sir. Secondly, Mr. Speaker, sir, when he talked of unity, Mr. Speaker, sir, he promised to unify the whole county, Mr. Speaker, sir, especially the executive and assembly, Mr. Speaker, sir. So, the unity of these assemblies, Mr. Speaker, sir, I've seen it is 100%, Mr. Speaker, sir. But when we go to the executive side, Mr. Speaker, sir, it seems as if the unity of the executive, Mr. Speaker, sir, is not perfect, since most of the functions that are done by our governor, Mr. Speaker, sir, has been missed by his deputy, Mr. Speaker, sir. One, for example, Mr. Speaker, sir, the swearing ceremony, which we did last time, Mr. Speaker, sir, our DG failed to appear. Mr. Speaker, sir, the appointment of the new CCs, Mr. Speaker, sir, as we all saw, our DG never appeared again, Mr. Speaker, sir. Mr. Speaker, sir, there was also as a coffee day ceremony at Kenyan Coffee Mill, Mr. Speaker, sir, where our governor presided, Mr. Speaker, sir, and we also did not see our DG. So I fail to understand, Mr. Speaker, sir, how could the second in command, Mr. Speaker, sir, will miss all the functions.
Yes, what is it, the Honorable Chief?
Mr. Speaker, sir, again I rise on a point of order, Speaker, sir. The Honorable Member, I've been informed that there is nowhere in the law that says whenever there is an address by the governor, a deputy governor should be there. Mr. Speaker, sir, the Constitution is very clear. A deputy governor is a principal assistant of the governor. Whether he attends functions or not, it is not in the governor's speech, nowhere is indicated that he will be accompanying the governor on a certain function, Mr. Speaker. So if he chooses to appear or not, that is up to him, Mr. Speaker, but it is not mandatory.
Honorable members, before I give you to Honorable Langat to continue, I think the question here about the only mention by the speech of the governor is the recognition of the deputy governor during his speech, and therefore the question of whereabouts, where he is, and what he is doing shall not apply in this case. And I therefore rule that the Honorable Langat, that you are out of order, and proceed with your comments, and let us keep time.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, sir. I withdraw and apologize. Mr. Speaker, sir, lastly, Mr. Speaker, sir, let me touch on health, Mr. Speaker, sir. When our governor, Mr. Speaker, sir, talked of oncology center, Mr. Speaker, sir, I almost rise to my level, Mr. Speaker, sir, to applaud Mr. Speaker, sir. See, me being the victim of cancer, Mr. Speaker, sir, when I lost my mother, Mr. Speaker, sir, over this cancer, Mr. Speaker, sir. Also, Mr. Speaker, sir, barely a week, Mr. Speaker, sir, I also lost my brother through the same, Mr. Speaker, sir. So when I heard of him coming up with oncology center, I'll say thank you to His Excellency, the governor. So, Mr. Speaker, sir, with those few remarks, Mr. Speaker, sir, let me leave the floor and say thank you so much.
Yes, thank you very much, Honorable Langat. I now give to the Honorable Dominic, and then I will give to Honorable Mutai for Kipchimchim. All the Honorable members. Let us even have now, we can do 2 minutes each. Order, Honorable members. The Honorable member.
Thank you.
Honorable member, order first. Please take your seat, the Honorable member. The Honorable member for Hon.Cheruiyot said to the Honorable Rotich, you are out of order when you speak on phone when you were in the chambers. Order. The Honorable member for Kabianga, proceed.
Thank you, the Honorable Speaker, for giving me this opportunity. First, I want to thank the Almighty God for enabling us to be in this honorable house. It was not by our might, by His grace, that we were elected and nominated to be the members of this auspicious house. I want again to thank the people of Kabianga Chimulwed for the opportunity, for giving me this wonderful opportunity to serve them in this great third assembly for the next 5 years. I want also to thank my members, my family, my wife and my kids for the prayers and the great support, and my team, the team who were together during the campaign, and the people of Kabianga for the support and the prayers. I want to congratulate the Speaker and the members who have been elected and nominated to serve in this honorable house. I want to touch on some few issues pertaining the governor's speech on 28.
Yes, what is it the Honorable member for Kapsu said? Is it point of order or point of information?
Mr. Speaker, sir, thank you for this opportunity. I seek for information from the honorable member from Kabianga Ward when he talks of Kabianga Jemamul Ward. And I've never heard of Jemamul Ward.
Yes, honorable member, please you substantiate and you proceed.
Thank you. I think I stand to be guided, but that is the name. The name is Kabianga Jemamul Ward. So I hope you are guided and you are informed. Thank you. I want to touch on some few issues. We were elected to serve the people of this great county, Kericho. I want to thank the governor for outlining some few issues pertaining his agenda for the people in great Kericho County. When we were elected, when we were doing our campaign, we promised roads, we promised good hospital, we promised water, we promised youth and empowerment. And I want to touch on 2 or 3 aspects which was highlighted by the governor. One, he acknowledged the oversight role in his government And I want to congratulate those who are nominated to serve in the governor as the CECs. And I want to promise them that we will do our oversight as the third county assembly. On the issue of health, Madam Speaker, the health department in Kericho County, it has been in autopilot. We are not wrong for the last 10 years. Most of our hospital does not have drugs. And it is very sad that in this generation, our women share the beds in the maternity, in the referral hospital. It is also very sad that we travel 150 kilometers to Eldoret. That is around 300 kilometers to and fro to take our sick brothers and sisters all the way to private hospital and private and some referral hospital in Eldoret. And I want to echo the sentiment by honorable member from Kapsa House. When he said in our referral, there is a clique of cartel which we need to name out. They refer patients to some private hospital in Eldoret for the kickbacks. And it is very sad that nearly all the weekends around which he attends is for huge bills. It is becoming unattainable for 3 people with cancer in this county. All the patients, if you visit the referral hospital and those private hospitals, all the patients for cancer, nearly half of them come from the south area. As the third assembly, we need to think outside the box. We need to do the budgetary allocation to the Ministry, the Department of Health, and work seriously on assisting our people in the issue of health.
Yes, the Honorable Hon.Cheruiyot.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir. I am raising on a point of order. Our honorable members has made
order, Honorable Paul. You say point of
point of information.
Point of order.
Our member has risen and has made very serious allegations, the Speaker, sir, on the executive arm of the government, where he is alleging that patients are referred to Eldoret for kickbacks. Whenever you make such an allegation, Mr. Speaker, sir, you have to prove, because we are a legislative arm of the government. We have that mandate to find out, so that whenever we make such an allegation, we must back it up with proper evidence, Mr. Speaker, sir. So, can the member be please informed, Mr. Speaker, sir?
Yes, thank you very much, the Honorable Hon.Cheruiyot. The member is informed, but also aware that he was giving his comments and on matters health as deliberated in this speech by the governor. The only thing is that, as you put it very clearly, is that matters of such magnitude or allegations needs to be substantiated. However, I still believe that the member is in order, not out of order, as he was making his comments. Please proceed, and you have a minute. The honorable member, please.
Thank you. I hope in a few days we'll form the committees on different departments, and I want to tell my colleagues who will be in that department to look on those issues, because paramount here is we need to work for our people. I want to touch on agriculture. Agriculture is the backbone of this county. But I don't know. We've never seen for the last 10 years the extension officers in our villages. We've never seen the subsidy, part of it, to our farmers. The tea sector, I've been working in the tea sector for around 14 years. I had old many challenges the farmers are facing. As a third assembly, we need to think critically and see how to improve our farmers. The AI services is just a theory. We need to see and seriously think on those lines of the AI services. We have dairy farmers, we have tea farmers, the coffee farmers were in Kipkelion last Saturday. And the governor talked of the coffee mill, the flour mill, and the factory, a processing industry, and a frustration industry. We have one in Bett, which has been there for long. I want to touch on education in the ECD centers as I'm winding up. I had a minute. The structural part of the ECD center is one thing. Yes, you can employ the ECD teachers. There is an issue of feeding programs. There is an issue of feeding programs for our kids. We need also to see in that direction that we start the program for feeding programs to our younger early childhood education. I want to touch something on unemployment. Unemployment, there is no employment, there is no vacancies, but when the governor talk of the intensive program, we need to legislate as a nose on how this program will run. It is not only the county government who can give the intensive program. We have the multinational industry. They have a capacity. We have the private, we can do the private partnership with our companies around this area. For those that have touched few remarks, I want to say thank you. That God bless the great county, the people of great county of Kericho, bless the people and the third assembly, and the people where I represent Kabianga Hon.Cheruiyot. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
The Honorable Member, the Honorable Philip. The Honorable Philip, yes.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, for granting me this golden opportunity, at least to make my maiden speech. First and foremost, I want to thank the Almighty God for standing with me to this far, and for the people of Kipchimchim for granting me this opportunity to represent them on matters of legislation, oversight, and representation. Again, I want to thank my neighboring honorable members for Kapsoit, Paul Chirchir, and Honorable Cheruiyot Bett, Ainamo Ward, for coming to my aid when I was campaigning vigorously within my ward. I must sincerely say thank you to the honorable members. Again, I must thank the County Assembly staff for the warm welcome on my first day being in the Assembly. Thank you all, and God bless you. On ventilating on the governor's speech, I must say the governor's speech in a way was in line with my manifesto. First, on matters of health, when the governor says there was need to improve the existing facilities, I was like saying congratulations the honorable governor on that. On the issue of NHIF, we know as honorable members, we have endless fundraisings on matters of health. But when I see if we could enhance the NHIF scheme, we could reduce on the more rambays that we are going around most of the weekends. On the issue of cancer, I am in a positive affirmation on the issue of converting the corona unit to oncology unit. On trade, the issue of a revolving fund, even though the governor did not touch on the issue of whether a collateral will be needed to secure the loan, but I am I concur with him, because most of the mama mbogas, the border borders, don't own a logbook or a collateral like a title deed. And I think these ones will touch them on a positive note. On the border sheds, I know the existing border sheds are not of help to the borders only, but some of our members use, when in times of rain, they go and shelter themselves there. On the issue of pollutions, I know it may look to be a small issue, but whenever we go to markets, there is a problem when it comes to relieving ourselves because of the lack of those facilities. So I mean, I concur with him when he talked about building more. On the issue of revenue collection, I have been a victim myself, because I myself have been around this town, but you see, there are crooked officers who compromise the quality of collection of revenue, as in terms of, you see now, for example, car park is 100 shillings, but in most cases, the officers request you for a 50 shillings to forgo the same. So I'm really requesting if we can automate the collection of revenue. It will help us. On the issue of agriculture, the governor mentioned on the two existing facilities, that is the Kabianga Tea Factory and the coffee farm in Kipkelion. I was of the opinion, and I concur with him on the issue of smart management. We could also convert those two farms to produce quality seedlings for vulnerable members in the society, so that we can give them some good quality seedlings. So lastly, Mr. Speaker, sir, I congratulate you for being elected the third County Assembly Speaker, and I know you are equal to the task. And to my fellow third County Assembly members, I hope you are equal to the task, and I pray God we journey together for the 5 years and impart a positive effect to our community. Thank you all. God bless you all.
Yes, honorable members, I want to give to only one honorable member, or I give two. They take 1 minute each. A minute. The honorable member for the honorable Masinjeri, and then I'll give to the honorable Maritim. I'll give to the honorable for a minute each to say the honorable for member for Kapkatet and the honorable member for Cheboin Ward. Each a minute, just to say a maiden speech, and then we proceed. We have to now close the debate. A minute, honorable member, please.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir. First, I want to thank my Almighty God for giving me this chance. I know it's by the grace of God that I'm here today. First, I would like to congratulate you on your election to steer the third county assembly. I also want to thank my area MP, Mr. Joseph Cheruiyot, for finding me fit to work with him. Not forgetting my family and minority group in Kericho County at large. Also, I want to congratulate you, honorable members, on your election to this House of Honor. Mr. Speaker, sir, allow me to highlight on the issue pertaining health care.
As you wind up, the honorable member, you have 30 seconds.
Mr. Speaker, sir, allow me to highlight on issue pertaining healthcare. Honorable members, I came across some issues highlighting the healthcare sector by the speech of our governor.
lack of drugs in our hospital. Mr. Speaker, sir, I thought it was good to change hospital tender authority and practice policies. Mr. Speaker, sir, this is whereby this tender should be awarded to a particular company which is responsible to distribution of drugs in our primary healthcare in that wards. On the issue of drug shortage, Mr. Speaker, sir, and honorable members, I think we can find a manufacturer of high quality products and pay them for the drugs to be delivered in time. Mr. Speaker, sir, as a woman, I cannot forget to the issue of maternity ward. In our facility, my sub-county, there is no regular water, and these wards cannot be run without water. Without water, as all of us, we know that in maternity ward, we need a lot of water. And Mr. Speaker, sir, I would urge the chairperson and the members who will take water, energy, and sanitation will consider the health care.
Wind up, honorable member.
Thank you.
Yes, wind up. And then...
Mr. Speaker, sir, allow me to say, I'm still green in the county assembly and honorable members. There is a room for improvement. Thank you.
Thank you so much, the honorable member. I want to give to direct as follows. Honorable members, having looked at my watch, the watch at the county assembly, is that we only have 6 minutes to bring closure to this debate. However, the members, the honorable members who have not given their maiden speech in other sittings, it will not be about discussing the speech of the governor because we are closing that debate now. I will give you a leeway to say thank you to your people and maybe perhaps contribute to the next item that we'll have in our order paper. So as per section 105 of our standing orders, I want to give to the mover of the motion, the Honorable Hon.Cheruiyot Bett, to reply to this motion so that we can proceed. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, for giving me the opportunity to reply to the motion that the thanks of the Assembly be recorded for the exposition of public policy contained in the address by His Excellency the Governor. Mr. Speaker, mine is a very simple task, Mr. Speaker. One, Mr. Speaker, is to thank all the members for the immense contribution, Mr. Speaker, to this address. Mr. Speaker, I want to be on record, Mr. Speaker, that the third county assembly, Mr. Speaker, in my own considered view, is the best county assembly compared to the two county assembly that we have, Mr. Speaker. We've had various issues tackled by various members of this honorable House, Mr. Speaker, and everyone at least has something to say to better the lives of our people in our county, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, as I conclude because of time, Mr. Speaker, I know the governor is also in a position to hear what is being discussed in this county assembly. Of course, we have the Facebook Live, Mr. Speaker, and I came to understand that the residents of this county, Mr. Speaker, are going to their Facebook because they are following up the proceeding. Even the governor himself, Mr. Speaker. So I know most of what everyone has touched, Mr. Speaker, on must be taken away by the governor, Mr. Speaker. As a county assembly, as I conclude, I want to urge all the members that our major role is to represent the people who elected us to this county assembly. Number two is to do oversight, Mr. Speaker. And I want to urge all of us that we need to do oversight to the best of our understanding, Mr. Speaker. Otherwise, I thank everyone. May the good Lord bless all of us as we steer the development agenda of our people for the next 5 years. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you. Thank you very much, the Honorable Member for Ainamoi, the Honorable Hon.Cheruiyot Bett. And now, Honorable Members, Standing Order number 64, subsection 2 says that at the conclusion of the debate, the Speaker shall put the question. I now put the question that the motion proposed by Honorable Hon.Cheruiyot Bett and seconded by the Honorable Philip Rono, that the thanks of the Assembly be recorded for exposition of public policy containing the address of His Excellency the Governor, may, as of many opinion, say aye. Aye. May, as of the contrary opinion, say nay. The ayes have it. Honorable members, being no other business, this sitting stands adjourned until today at 2:30. That is 4th October 2022. Thank you very much.